Hey guys, Kev here, and I have a knife to show you. This is from Gecko Customz Knife Works, and this is the Sikorae Lite. So it is a budget version of the Sikorae, and it is still in Magna Cut, which is pretty cool. So we'll talk about it. And then there is a COA with nothing on it, I guess. I guess it's just a business card as well. And there is a box. OEM on this is Best Tech Knives out of China. And I did a review on the premium version of this knife. If you haven't checked it out, you can. I'll try to link it somewhere along the way. That knife, I believe, came in at $425. And it was titanium, Magna Cut. I think there was an inlay on the version that I checked out as well. Again, Best Tech OEM. They are on sale right now. I just looked at the website. They're on sale for $350. So if you were interested in the premium version of this knife, $350 is not a bad price for it, considering it was $425 to start. So these come in a couple different handle materials. I've seen them in G10 in different colors. I've seen them in this G10. He has it listed as special G10. I think it's like Best Tech's sort of G-Mascus, essentially. Maybe they call it special G10, or he just made that up. Or maybe that's what it's called. I don't know. Sounds special, though, you know. It's not my bag, I'd say, but it definitely does appeal to me more than just G-Mascus. I'm not a big fan of G-Mascus at all. So there's that. It also comes in micarta, and the prices vary. It looks like the standard G10 versions are like $180, $179.99, and then the micarta versions are $189, so $190 essentially, and then these special G10 versions are $199, so they're $200 for the knife. And again, you're gonna get Magna Cut. You can see MC up there, and you'll get a flat grind, a decently tall blade. It's a good overall just blade, right? It's a nice drop point blade, usable for sure. This looks to have a blasted finish on it. On the blade, you can see the Gecko Customz logo right there. The one that took me a minute to figure out on the Kaiser the other day. He has a design with Kaiser, the crest that just came out, and it was a little harder to see on that knife. I think it was smaller, and obviously I didn't know he designed it when I opened that box, so made it a little harder, but I figured it out. We do have proud liners on this knife, which is interesting. Usually on a, I don't know how to use, what terminology to use. It's like a premium liner lock. No, wrong. See, wrong terminology there. It's like a premium budget knife. I don't know what I'm trying to say. But basically, you know, you're talking about G10 and a liner lock, and it's a $200 knife. So, you know, most people would think G10 and a liner lock would be a budget knife, right? And you'd be getting that around, I don't know, $100, $125, something like that. But you know, he made an interesting choice here and went with a premium blade steel, right? We don't see that a lot. Usually when we do these type of offerings, it's going to be, you know, G10, micarta, whatever, and then it'll be like 154 cm or 14C or Nitro V, right? And that keeps the price down. But, you know, he wanted to keep it with that premium blade steel, which is cool. I like the concept there. Now, the only kind of inherent problem with that is it bumps your price up, right? So now a knife that would have cost maybe $150 tops in 154 cm is going to cost $200 in MagnaCut. And so finding the market for that, I don't know, it could be tough. There's not a lot of knives in this kind of category, so it's interesting to me. But for $200, you can get, you can get some nice stuff. For example, you could get a knife we're releasing next week on the 20th. This is the Tall Boy in camo carbon, and we call this an exposed liner lock. It is technically, it would still be a liner lock. It's a steel liner lock. S90V steel. And these will be $219. You can use a discount code though, and you'll be at like $197 on it. There's some offerings from, say, where are you? Here's one from Tempest Knives. I think this might be 154. Yeah, this is 154 cm, but I think the price point was around that 140, 150 mark. And you're getting weave carbon fiber. So it's a tricky price point, basically is what I'm getting at. Here's a look at the Gemascus that Casey from Tempest used on the Microburst. And this is a Kubi OEM. And just to compare it, so it's not the same, obviously, the Gemascus and this stuff. It's kind of the same concept, right? But a different look. And I gotta say, I do like this better, for sure. So anyway, before I went on that little rant, what I was getting at is the Proud liners. It's just an interesting choice. Usually you're gonna see nested liners on something like this. But it does look cool. So I think he went with it because it's a unique touch, honestly, which is kind of funny to think about because it used to be the most common thing you would see is Proud liners, right? But that would be on like a $50 D2 and G10 knife, So this knife just brings up a lot of interesting kind of questions for me. And I'm just curious what you guys think watching this. Is this something that gets you excited because you can get the MagnaCut and you can get this design for, around $200, $180 to $200? Where the full premium version is, right now it's $350, but it was $425 when that came out. So there could be a lot of people out there that love the design, but they're like, man, I'm not spending $400. So here's an option for $180 to $200, and you still get the premium blade. So I don't know. It's a very interesting choice and everything, and I'm just kind of curious how it plays out. It feels really good. It's got a nice finger choil up here. One thing I do like about it versus the premium version is this one has a flipper tab. The premium did not have a flipper tab. It was hole only, and it was a frame lock, which made it a little tougher as a lefty to operate as well. So if you're left-handed, this is going to be nice for you as well. It does have a reversible clip, which I really appreciate. Great job on that. The action on this thing is pretty bananas. There is no play. There is no rock. Maybe a little bit of movement on the pivot, but nothing crazy. And I mean, it just is real smooth. Very smooth drops. It feels very premium, I should say. It's very nice. That detent really clicks in there. The Proud liners being satin like that, they do give it kind of a custom knife feel. It's kind of odd to say that about a knife with G10 and a liner lock, but it really does kind of give it that custom feel, like the handmade custom feel. It's definitely more refined than that, but that's just what I think of when I see this. Hopefully you guys understand what I'm saying if you've been to knife shows and handled knives off of the tables of custom makers. You see a lot of this. Now, usually they have crazy lock stick, which this does not. It's very, very nice, very smooth. We do have a milled pocket clip, which is cool. We can test that, make sure it's titanium. It is titanium. Hardware. Those clip screws are tie. That filler tab, I don't know. The filler tab might even be tie. I think the barrels are pulling me in. Obviously, these liners are steel. It's hard to tell. Let me grab a driver. We can just pull one out. If one screw is steel or titanium, I'm just going to assume everything is. So let's figure out what's what here. Titanium hardware. So we have titanium hardware on this bad boy. And why? Oh, I should probably put it back. Why did I care about that? Maybe you're wondering. Well, there's a lot of guys who like to modify their pocket knives. And the guy who designed this, Steven, from Gecko Customz, good dude, by the way. I've met him at Blade Show a few times now. He is a modder. That's how he got his start, by modding. And pretty sure he still does that. But if you get titanium hardware, you can anodize it. So you could take this and you could anodize the screws to a different color if you wanted, right? Let's say you had a blue one of these. You got the blue or the green. They have different colors. Maybe you would want to try to anodize the screws to kind of match, or maybe like you had a green one and you want purple on the screws to kind of give it a Joker theme or something, The D10 is excellent, as I stated before. It really pops out of there. I did feel like the flipper tab is a little sharp. It works really well, though, so it's one of those things where, like, I don't know if it's a nitpick or an actual, like, con. You know what I mean? Because it does work really well, and the D10 is, like, strong enough that it lets you rip on that flipper tab, but not so strong that it's, like, tearing up my finger. You know what I mean? But it is, I don't know. I think it's good. And it is really tucked away. You can see that flipper tab's nice and tucked away. And he did it that way so you could keep this, the lines the same, keep the finger choil and everything, and not have to redesign the knife, right? If you tried to hide the flipper tab, it'd be a tricky situation. And I mean, he could have gotten away, I think, with not having the flipper tab. I think it would have looked cleaner without the flipper tab, but it is an added benefit to the knife. And maybe he was thinking people who love the design, who bought the premium version, maybe they'll want to buy another one to try the flipper tab out, right? Could have been a thought he had or something. I don't know. You can see the classic Best Tech pivot. They have this oversized pivot with the collar around it. It's pretty much what almost every Best Tech knife looks like. And he adopted that, I guess, for his knife as well. And size-wise, it's a good size, I think. It's like a 3-inch blade, I think. This one's 3.5, 3.6 inches. So you can see the difference there. Might have a better comparison with one of these, maybe? No, those are smaller. Let's try the Fireball. We did just put another order in for these, if you were interested in the Fireball. And we're shooting for Blade Show for a release. And we're going to have, hopefully we're going to have a really cool exotic version that'll be a Blade Show exclusive. That was our plan anyway. And you can see here they're very close. So this has a 3.15-inch blade, and then overall I think it's 7 1/4. So we're going to be pretty close on there. We can pull up the website and take a look. Oh, he does have non-flipper versions. Apologies. So you can get it in flipper or non-flipper. That's pretty cool. Cost is the same regardless, so you choose how you want to do it, obviously. Do they have the specs on here? No. It doesn't look like the specs are listed unless it's, there it is. 61 to 63 on the MagnaCut, which is nice. Full flat grind, bead blast, and stone wash, satin stainless steel liners, liner lock, satin tie hardware, reversible milled tie, pocket clip, black G10 backspacer. Okay. Overall length is 7.37, and it's a 3.04-inch blade length. You're going to have less cutting edge than that because of the finger choil there, I guess. Blade, close length is 4.32, blade thickness 0.126 inches, 3.4 ounces, and OEM is Bestech. And again, this version is $199. Let me get the ruler out just to see if I'm looking at the blade length, or sorry, blade length versus the edge. So yeah, you can see it's under 3 inches, 2.9 something, and then overall 3.04. So it makes sense. Yeah, it's a cool knife. It's got good action. It has a good design. I would say personally, I would have loved to see it with some kind of carbon fiber or something. You know, but he was trying to work within, I think, a construct where he could offer it for $200 or less. I think that was probably his goal. And so he was kind of limited probably to G10 and micarta options, because when you work with Bestech, it's very expensive. It's just expensive to go through them because, as most people probably are aware, they don't make knives. They're a third party, and they essentially facilitate the knife, if that makes sense. They're kind of like a middleman, but they handle all the communication, and they make things very easy. And they are one of the better options out there as an OEM. Especially if you're just getting started. This isn't related to Steven or Gecko, but if you're just getting started or something, because they make communication very easy, they're responsive, they fix problems, you know, all of those things that some OEMs are very difficult to work with because communication's spotty, translation isn't good. You know, they're kind of combative when there's problems, and just, you know, if you're trying to ease into it a little bit, Bestech is a really good option. And then they keep a lot of their customers because of that customer service. But they're never going to offer the best price, right? And so for these materials, if you're trying to stay under $200, this is kind of where you're going to end up. Hope that makes sense to you guys. Where if you're working with Kubi or whatever, you can squeeze a little bit more out, right? So anyway, very cool knife, very well made, very well designed. It's a good dude behind Gecko, and I actually like this finish quite a bit. Not normally into a bead blast, but I think it was stonewashed after or something, because it looks really nice. I think it said that, didn't it? Did it say bead blast and stonewash? Yeah. Yeah, that gives it that extra just look. I don't know. It's really nice. So let me know your thoughts on this, guys. I'm really curious where you see this fall. And if you're going to pick one up, if you have picked one up, I think they've been out for a little bit. And yeah, let me know. Man, that action is just so buttery, though. It is really good. Just falls for being, you know, it's not loose at all, and it just, man, real nice. So, love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Thank you to Gecko Customz for sending this out. This is going in the pass around group. Pretty sure it'll go back to Steven after we have the premium version in the pass around now. So just so you guys know the deal, it was sent in for review only and then passed along. And yeah, I love you guys. Lock bar access, by the way, is very good. It works really, really well. I know sometimes you guys want to, well, you guys always want to know stuff like that. So there you go. The edge is very sharp. It's sticking and ripping, not ripping, slicing my fingers up. So it's going to cut really well also. But I haven't actually tested that. So actually I have. I did cut some cardboard, and I cut open some Amazon boxes. You can see that. And there was no issue at all. But obviously I didn't do cut testing or anything. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. Love you. Hope you have an absolutely fantastic day. And I'm going to catch you guys later. Peace.